Hello, 7th and 8th grade Bobcats. Mr. Flater here. Welcome back to another great week at the Helena Middle School. Got something kind of special for you today. I'm going to be talking about blind spots, and not in the conventional sense of like driving, having a blind spot, or even this little test I'm going to show you here in a minute. But blind spots is in things we do that we don't realize we're doing. And how that affects us in life, how that affects our relationships, how that affects how we go about business on a day-to-day basis. This Bob lesson may be a little bit above some of your heads. I hope it's not. Some of you may get it, some of you may not. That's okay. For those of you that do get something out of it, that'll be great. You can start by taking a piece of paper and putting a cross and a dot on it about, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches apart. And if you close one of your eyes and you focus on the cross and you slowly zoom in, there will come a point where one of them will disappear, and that's kind of what we're talking about today. It's kind of a metaphor what I'm talking about today. So let's get our seatbelts buckled up and let's get rock and rolling on this Bob lesson. Hope you guys all make it a great week. All right, as I mentioned in the intro, this week's Bob lesson is going to be named Blind Spots. But first, let's be our best this week at HMS. Let's be safe, let's be responsible, let's be respectful, and let's be a learner. All right, before I start talking about blind spots today, I've got to rewind to something I shared with you guys last year. It was my favorite poem called The Man in the Glass. And to review, I'm not going to read this again, but what this poem really is about is it's about personal accountability. This poem talks about how you can be dishonest and you can mislead other people. You can cheat your way to get something you want. You can make excuses and not take accountability for your own actions and maybe get through life that way. But what it's really about, what life's really about, is being accountable to yourself. And yourself is the only person you'll ever really have in this world. And when you got to go home at night and look in the mirror, you can't fool yourself. You know what you did or what you did not do. And this poem was all about personal accountability and challenge you guys to look in the glass every day, look in the mirror every day, be accountable, ask yourself, am I being Bob? Am I doing the best I can in life? Am I putting forth full effort? Well, what happens when we do that? We show high levels of personal accountability, but we're still missing something. There's something there that we don't realize we are doing. That is a blind spot, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. When it comes to life, we have 4 different areas of awareness, and I put this little box together. And let's start in the upper left-hand corner, if you will, and follow along with me. The first area of awareness is things that are known to you and things that are known to everybody around you. An example of this may be that I'm tall. Okay, this is a fact. I know I'm tall. Everybody around me knows I'm tall. Or maybe that I'm grumpy in the morning. I'm not a morning person until I get my coffee. If you've been around me in the morning, you know that it takes me a while to wake up. So these are things that are known to you and known to everybody around you. If we go clockwise and we move to the right upper right-hand box, we have things that are known to you and only you. These would be like deep personal thoughts, deep personal secrets we have, things that we keep to ourselves. Maybe an example of that with me would be, I can't tell you, because then it would move over to the box on the left. But we all have things about us that maybe are very personal, very private, that we keep to ourselves, that nobody around us know, not even our best friends, maybe our boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, parents. Nobody knows those things. And then if we continue moving clockwise, we have the box in the bottom right. These are things that aren't known to you, and these are things that aren't known to others. This may be like, do UFOs exist? Or are ghosts, is there such thing as ghosts? I don't know. I'm making this up kind of on the fly, but these are things that are completely unknown, that nobody knows about, we don't know about, other people don't know about it. And the box I really want to hit on today is the one in the bottom left, and that's bolded. And these are things that are known to others that are not known to you. And that is something called a blind spot. And part of growing in life and part of evolving in life is becoming aware of blind spots as you get older. This is like a metaphorical thing. This isn't like the eye test that I did in the beginning. And how you find out about these is you talk to people close to you. You talk to a counselor. You talk to friends about it. Hey, how do I come across in certain situations? Or when I'm doing something and it affects your friends and they tell you it affects them and you don't realize you're doing it, maybe you are. And I'm going to talk more about blind spots here and how we can identify those and use those to our advantage to grow and evolve here in a slide or two, because that's what life is really about. I'm a huge proponent of just growing and evolving a little bit every day. You don't need to be there today. You don't need to be there tomorrow, wherever you're trying to get to. But we want to be taking steps forward little by little, even if some days it feels like a crawl or a baby step. We just want to be moving a little bit forward each and every day. Okay, so how can we use this? When we continually make the same mistakes over and over, consider the fact that maybe you have a blind spot that you need to address. What might this be for a middle school student? Well, if you're getting asked to leave class by multiple different teachers and you're swearing up and down that you didn't do anything wrong, maybe you did do something wrong. Maybe you have a blind spot. Maybe you're the common denominator. If you're on a sports team and your coach is continually harping on you about the same thing that you swear you're either doing or not doing, maybe we need to go watch the film and maybe you need to see and accept that you are doing that and make a change. If your parents are constantly getting on you about the same thing and you think they're harping and you think they're making it up, maybe they're not. Maybe they have a point. Maybe there is a blind spot there you need to address. When you continually have the same sorts of problems in your relationships, consider the fact maybe you have a blind spot that you need to address. I know I've had some friends tell me some things, and when I hear it from one friend and then another friend and then another friend, that must be true. They must have a point. I think in relationships, we do a lot of things sometimes that aren't healthy. We do a lot of things that maybe we don't realize we're doing. In both platonic and romantic relationships. And when we have multiple people telling us the same thing, or we have issues that are the same type of issues over and over, there may be a very good chance that you have a blind spot there that you need to address. All right, I'm going to do some self-disclosure real quick just to prove to you guys I practice what I preach. These are 3 blind spots that I've had that I'm working on in my life. And the first is I've been told I have a super serious mad look on my face sometimes, and I think this happens when I'm really focused, like when I'm refereeing. I've been told that by coaches, by evaluators, by partners. And so I really need to work on smiling more and putting a smile on my face, basically. I'm not always super approachable, maybe for this reason, and I can be intimidating. I think maybe this is because I'm really tall, and then you combine that with having that serious look on your face. These are blind spots that I didn't realize I had, and so I work on being more approachable by approaching other people, by being friendly, by smiling, by being the first to initiate conversations. Not perfect, but working on getting better. So these are just some real life examples in my own personal life. What will you guys uncover, and what will be some things that you're going to work on to grow and evolve? All right, this week's quote of the week is, "Awareness is like the sun. When it shines on things, they are transformed." Hope you guys like that. All right, that brings us to this week's Jellybean Question of the Week winners, and I'm accepting 2 answers, 2 and 3. I didn't think you guys would be able to see that 2 was actually blocked from going to 3 on the Bob lesson, so I'm rewarding 3 of each. Mike Lashinsky, Jaden Graywatts, Savannah Osterling, Mason Roche, Kylie Wetzel, and Eli Bow. Come see me for some jelly beans. This week's Jellybean Question of the Week is, Mr. Smith has 4 daughters. Each of his daughters has a brother. How many total children does Mr. Smith have? If you think you know, get your answer submitted to me. All right, I wanted to end this Bob lesson in a little different fashion today. I just want to take a moment and to speak to all of you guys and to remind each and every one of you about how cared about you are, how you are in a building full of teachers, counselors, administrators, paraprofessionals, nurses, school psychologists. I'm probably leaving some people out that really care about you guys. I've talked before, life's not always puppies and roses and rainbows. We're going to have some ups and downs in life. Just want you guys to know that there is supportive adults here for you, not just myself and Miss Panis. Look at your teacher in your room right now. That is a caring person that cares about kids. We have so many adults in this school that care about you guys, and sometimes I think maybe we don't do a good enough job of reminding you guys of that on a day-to-day basis. So you guys are cared about. Never forget that. Lots of caring adults that are here to help you guys in more ways than one. Hope you guys have a great week.